guys, up at Bartlett Lake. Over the weekend I won that Roosevelt Lake tournament with 19.5 pounds. James Howard and I did. And everyone's been texting me wondering, what did you use? Well, what do I always use? Brush hogs. So I caught almost all my fish on brush hogs. I did use some 10-inch worms and 8-inch worms, but the main thing was the brush hogs. These are just the ones I advertise all the time, you know, watermelon candy, and they're just the normal baby brush hog, all right? Or I use the watermelon red. So I just took one out of the pack. We're gonna put a little bit of a dip it on it, just that chartreuse dip it, and it's got the garlic flavor. And I don't dip a lot, I just dip a little bit of the tail. So it's just about that much, a 1/2 inch. That's all I'm dipping. So the rig I'm using is nothing special. I do use tungsten weights. I use a tungsten weight. I was using a 1/4 ounce tungsten weight, and I have it pegged with a bobber stopper. So right here, and then so I slide that down because sometimes you're fishing in the trees and stuff like that. This is just a 1/0 hook. I use a 1/0 and a 2/0. So that's it, nothing bigger. So I'm just gonna thread this on, go in at 3/16 of an inch, slide that up on the hook, and I'm just gonna put that right back into the brush hog. So this is how I basically rig this. And then I'm gonna show you how to work it, okay? Okay, we showed you how to, we just pulled up on this point. There's some fish here. They're not big, but let me just get this up and show this to you just a little bit. They're chunky ones. These are just those Bartlett Lake bass. They're 1.5 pounds, but they're nice and healthy. You know, they're nice and fat. They're getting fat. Some of them have spawned and some haven't spawned. So one thing you got to learn, people, guys and girls, is when you thread this on, you just put it in 3/16 of an inch, slide it all the way up on the keeper of the hook. You want your brush hog nice and straight. Don't make it all crooked. They like it straight like this, just like this. And if it has a little bit of crook in it, it's okay. When you get a bite, you really have to set this hook. I mean, this whole thing is in his mouth, the fish's mouth. You gotta bust that weight, the hook, the brush hog, and everything out his mouth, and hope the heck that you hook that hook right in the top of his lip. So you need to jerk it pretty good. I mean, kind of just like this is not doing it. 80% of all my customers cannot catch your brush hog fish. You guys that are more in the professional, you set the hook hard. Just remember, set that hook hard. So let's make another cast over here. So I'm just fishing this little point here is all I'm doing. I'm out of the wind, so excuse the wind, because you get out here and the wind's always blowing at Bartlett. So the bite has gotten tough right now, guys. Topwater bite was good today. The sun's up high. These fish have ate. They're done. So this happened to me at Bartlett too. Is you had to throw that out and just leave it on the bottom. And I'm just kind of just pulling it along a little bit, pulling it along, and then I let it sit. I dead sticked it a lot, and I just barely pulling it along. We just happened to pull up, and there's fish in this little cut here because we were trying to look for a place where there's no wind. So you just kind of pull a little bit along. I kind of give it a little jiggle, you know, and then I sit there. You always get the bite on the sit when it's just sitting there, you know. There's a bite right there. There's another one. Come on in. You see, you have to, it's not really rearing back, you know, reeling down and rearing back. It's just this quick snap. That's all it is. And look where you hook them all the time. Right in the top of the thing. This is where, when you set that hook, that's where you're going to hook your fish. Now, granted, these aren't like those ones we caught at Roosevelt, but I had to come back because I had some guide trips. So, but these are pretty chunky. Those ones I caught at Roosevelt, they had spawned out. There was a lot of them that spawned already. So we're gonna go ahead and rig another brush hog here. So here's one out now. Let's try the watermelon red. So I only use 2 brush hogs, watermelon red, watermelon candy, and I catch plenty of fish on those. Go in, set it up, push it in straight, push your bobber stopper down, and you're ready to go. Just throw it in, out over the point, let it go down. So we're just gonna work this slow on the bottom. Just remember, slow down. Some people just work these too fast, so you just wanna barely creep that thing on the bottom. Feel the rocks, and that's why I use tungsten weights, you know. Just letting that thing go down. Now I pulled off that back down because I was looking on my graph and I saw fish out in 10, 12 feet of water, 15 feet of water. So let's see if we can't catch them out a little bit deeper instead of right on the bank. All right, so we're just gonna work it right on the bottom. And it's okay sometimes just to set that hook twice, just so you can keep it on. He's coming up. Now he's going down, so that's okay. He's just swimming towards the boat. These aren't that big of fish. Those fish I caught at Roosevelt, mine ended up being, just jumping. So every time you catch one, ooh, that's a chunky one. So every time you catch one, that hook needs to be right there, and that's going to tell you you are doing the right thing, okay? Wow. So you hook them in there. Oh, that one's got a crawdad in its throat, a little crawdad. So just nice little fat 1.5 pound fish, you know. These are fun ones to bring the family out. So let's just release him. Put our brush hog back on. All right, so I think you got the gist of this. Just slow down, move the bait on the bottom, set the hook hard. Just remember those things and you'll be catching brush hog fish. Thanks for watching the show. Please subscribe.